Alright, we're back. I'm on a limited amount of time, so I'm going to jump right into this. So excuse me if I'm speaking at light speed over here, but I got another reality I got to jump back into in a moment. Yeah, we've talked about this before, but I'm probably going to have to keep reminding all of you out there. What is the purpose of meditation? What is the purpose of your dream control? What is the purpose of trying to remember your dreams? And what is the purpose of using all your powers in physical reality and in the dreaming reality? It's very simple. This is all preparing you for that big finale that they call death. That's here in this reality, which is not death, is actually the beginning of something new. So, when you die, what happens? Death is different for everyone. Some people may be visited by the image of loved ones. Some people might experience the so-called tunnel that we all hear about. Some people may die and find themselves still here in physical reality, looking down at themselves, their own body. Everyone's going to go wherever their beliefs take them to. So, the purpose of doing your dream meditations, but your dream practicing of manipulating your dreams is to get you familiarized with the after-death consciousness that you're going to experience. The purpose of your meditations and your deep trance meditations is to still your mind. See, when you die, some people, you might end up blasting through what will seem like an infinite number of realities in the blink of an eye. You'll jump through hundreds and hundreds of thousands of millions, infinite number of realities, and it would seem like it would be without end and you would have no control over it. But actually, it's your own power. And the reason of meditation, that's why they say still your mind, focus, don't think of anything. I think this has been really misinterpreted. The purpose of this is, so when you die, you focus your energy. You get familiarized with the feeling of the consciousness that you're going to experience. And the dream state, if you could become conscious in that reality, is very similar to the type of reality you experience when you leave this place, when you die, have this physical death. So, let's say you were doing your training, you've been watching my videos, and whatever else you've been up to, and you end up dying. So now you're dead, and you're conscious, you feel yourself. If you experience this type of reality I'm talking about, your mind's jumping now. Everything's jumping to different realities. And then you realize, oh shit, yeah, I saw Seth Darkhart's video. Oh, this might be dead. Then you slow your thoughts down. Slowing your thoughts down will actually slow down this reality jumping phase that you're going through. And then you'll be able to focus on your own energy and become stabilized within one reality without going through this infinite number of other realities jumping around. So it would be something like, just say for example, 1 minute you're as a child, 5 years old. The next minute you then jumped into the future and you're 82 years old, and now you've jumped into another probable reality. You just keep jumping through all these different manifestations of your own creations. So if you become aware of that, becoming aware of being dead is very similar to becoming aware in the dream state. Once you realize your situation that you're in, you may be able to stable your mind and focus and lock yourself down into a state where you will have more control of your powers and abilities. So this is why spiritual work or any type of work of expanding your consciousness and for your development is very, very important for you. Actually, everyone should be doing this. This is stuff that we should have been doing from childhood, but we all know why. We all know why they don't tell us this stuff. Now, I got a lot of things written down here that I want to get into. Don't have my iPad today, so I had to write all this stuff down from my phone to a little piece of paper just to get some important issues out. Some things that I was thinking about while having a discussion with another fellow brother entity over here in Japan. So yeah, the first point I wanted to get across was, yeah, that's your purpose for your meditation and your work. You need to be doing this stuff, people. all my entities out here, you need to be following not just me. You don't have to follow me, but you need to be following yourself. I said this before. I'm simply one of the manifestations from all of our higher selves, which is you in another life. So actually, I'm you talking to yourself, blasted back through the illusion of space and time to bring you this message from your higher self, which is also you. So you actually, me talking to you is actually you talking to yourself, telling you information that you already know, just to remind you, because you've been possibly, how should I say, entranced by this illusion that we call physical reality. Now, yeah, a few things to ponder on, a few things to meditate on. One of them is the idea of time. A lot of people, if you want any proof that time doesn't exist, here's just a little simple thing you could think of. It's not really an exercise, but just something to think about, right? Think about this. Many of us can calculate the feeling of time. So we could say, if we're in a room and there's no clocks or anything, we could say, okay, I've been waiting about 5 minutes. 5 minutes, no problem. 10 minutes, no problem. 15, 20, 30, an hour, maybe even 2 hours. But the longer you go up in so-called time, time starts to blur. It starts to waver, and you're not really sure how long you've been waiting, actually. Anyone who meditates and does deep meditation, and I mean heavy meditation, I watched this TV program, these cats were talking about meditation, and they were like, yeah, well, I do 20 minutes of meditation a day, 3 times a day. And this other guy who was supposed to be like this real yogi was like, yo, man, that's really like a hardcore meditator. I'm like, well, shit, if that's hardcore, I wake up in the morning and bust out a minimum, a 3-hour meditation, deep meditation. So if 20 minutes a day is hardcore, then I must be like a guru. No, I'm just, I don't even like that term. Y'all know what I'm saying, man. So I'm not saying y'all gotta be doing 3 hours of meditation, but push yourselves, man. Push yourselves. I do 3 hours bare minimum because I'm doing other things. I'm not just sitting down with my eyes closed. I'm actually traveling to other realities, and 3 hours seems to be a good amount of time to let me jump across the universe, the multiverse, the cosmos, and come back. But I've done longer than that. Now, so yeah, just think about that, man. We could all calculate time up to a certain point, but then, yeah, but I was talking about the meditation. When I'm in a deep meditation, I've noticed in the beginning, like, I could easily, while I'm in my meditation, I could think and say, all right, well, I guess I've been in this meditation about, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Wow, this feels like about an hour. But once you start crossing the boundaries into the 2-hour, 3-hour range, all time ceases to exist. Next thing you know, you don't really realize how long you've been in this meditation. Man, have I been meditating for, my goal was 2 hours. Has it been 2 hours or has it been 3? There's been times where I've thought I've been meditating for 3 hours without checking the time, and it's actually been, just say, 2 hours. There's also times where I thought I'd been in for 3 hours and checked, and 6 hours have actually passed. So the deeper and deeper you go into these meditations, and the longer you stay, the more time loses its hold on your consciousness. So that's just a little something for you to ponder on. Now, physical reality, I'm just trying to say, I got some other stuff written down here. What's this physical reality? You're not standing. Okay, why are we in physical reality? I said this in the last video, to gain experience that we can't gain any other place. But the other reason is, this is one more reason, not the only one, but just another one. It is to gain the experience of being physical creatures on the planet. As physical creatures, we get to experience understanding and compassion for one another. This is something that entities who have not manifested into physical reality, they can't really understand physical reality or us as so-called human creatures or creatures on the planet. So let's say if an entity wanted to teach, if an entity wanted to help assist mankind, or help assist us as physical creatures in this reality, they won't have the proper compassion and understanding. Their advice might not be beneficial to us because they haven't actually experienced physical reality and they don't know what it means to live through life, love, death. I mean, these are all things we say all the time. They're illusions, but at the same time, they're illusions that many of us take very seriously, and we have to play them out while we're here. I'm not saying you have to be entranced by them, but we do get involved in them. So if we have these so-called guides or whatever you want to call them, or entities that come through to teach us, or even your future selves, they had to have some type of background in physical reality to understand you and to make their message clearer so that you could understand it. You can have the most powerful entity in the universe who knows everything about, well, you can't know everything because everything's always changing, but who knows a lot of information, an eternity of information, but they won't be able to translate that to you because they've never been physical. So they won't be able to give you, they could tell you everything they know that they've experienced in the multi-dimensional universe, but you won't be able to comprehend any of it unless they break it down to you so that you can understand it in terms of the reality that you're in. So this is why we've come here. Future teachers, people who just want to gain experience, people who want to create realities of their own, learn how to have compassion for their own creations and manifestations. So that's what I'm going to say about that. Moving right along, what we got here. Now, a lot of people are concerned, man, like why when their loved ones pass on, they can't communicate with them, they can't get in contact with them. Why don't their loved ones come back? A lot of skeptics would say, well, if there's a life after death, why don't people just manifest back here in the form of ghosts or, this type of phenomenon and let us see them and let them tell us what's going on? Well, I got a simple breakdown for that, man. This is what it is. Once you leave here, as I said before, you come into contact with an incalculable amount of power. I'm talking ultimate power. The ultimate power is the complete ability of unrestricted imagination, the power to manifest anything that your will desires. That is the ultimate power in the universe. And just think about it, man. Look at all the things we have to go through here in this physical reality. Now, depending on your skill and the level of your development, your consciousness development, when you leave here, people like myself, I mean, yeah, some people do stay behind because they still have some connections to physical reality, or they have some connections to certain loved ones in this reality. So they decide to hang around a little bit. And that's not even forever. They might hang around, just say, until certain things are seen. Like example, they can see that their family members are going to do all right without them, or maybe even for a generation or so. But mostly for the people that they have an emotional connection to. Now, if you have someone who leaves and they've been doing their practices here in physical reality, they have this physical death, and now they've come into not just the power to manifest infinite realities, but the power to also go into an infinite number of realities and visit all these other realms of existence. Why would they want to stick around here in Earth version, who knows what number, and stick around with this nonsense, man? Looking at people go to war, looking at people go through emotional stress, and all this other stuff. If you are the ultimate power in the universe, at least in your universe, when you leave physical reality, why would you want to stick around here and look at people do nonsense? So this is why some people, man, not trying to make nobody feel bad, but a lot of people's loved ones and relatives, when they die, they come into these other realities and these other opportunities. They take off, man. I mean, remember, when you leave physical reality, you have the access to all time, and space and time are just illusions, so all that drops away. You're unrestricted now. If they, for example, looked into other probable versions and get a feeling that you're going to probably be all right, they move on, man. They're out of here. As I said, that's probably for the more, I don't like using levels, but a little bit more advanced people with their minds and thinking as far as what is possible. They just move on. Another thing that might shock all of y'all is this. A lot of times when people die, man, they come into a different level of understanding. So, yeah, they might have all this love now because they're here in this physical reality. When they cross over, they might understand this physical reality from a different viewpoint as, wow, that was a really nice experience. I am a higher entity. They might not be so attached to the attachments that they had might not seem so important. That's what I'm trying to say. So as much as you love your parents, your mother, your father, your brother, sister, wife, whoever, once you die, this reality might seem as, what's the word I'm looking for? Can't come up with the word right now, man. So I'm trying to focus on other people walking by. But it might not seem as important as it does here. When you're hearing this, trivia, that's the word I was looking for. This reality may come across as trivial, man. You might be like, 1 minute you're like, oh my God, I love this place, I don't want to leave. You access your real power, and you're like, fuck that, I'm out of here, man. And you take off and jump across to a whole nother reality, man. So, yeah, you understand that the relationships you had were just a role you were playing. Now, I'm not trying to put down any type of family connections, because even here, see, that's what I'm saying. As you're here in physical reality, I consider myself a very powerful and advanced entity, but as I'm here, while I'm here, I still have connections to things. I still have love for my family member and my other brothers and sisters that are out here. Now, maybe when I leave this place, my image of that is going to change, and it most likely will. But while I'm here, I still have this strong feeling of compassion towards people I love. So, yeah. Now, let's see. That's what I want to get on that. So, another area, reincarnation. I probably talked about this before. How do you start the reincarnation cycle? There is no cycle. You're reincarnating whether you like it or not. You're reincarnating right now. You, watching this video, are a reincarnation of another reincarnation. It keeps going on. But people who think in terms of cycles and keep repeating the same thing over and over again, it's very simple. If you want to break reincarnation, reincarnation doesn't end. It only ends for you when you decide it ends. And that comes by becoming aware, consciously aware of your situation. See, this comes back to the dream state. Why I keep focusing on that. When you're in a dream, right? Check this out. You're in the dream, you're walking around, and you're just going through the motions, not really conscious. And then suddenly, bam, you become conscious in your dream state. That is the same idea of, that same level of awakening is what needs to happen here in physical reality. You need to come awake and realize that all this shit is nonsense, man. Yes, we do take part in it, but it's not real. It's not real. My brothers and sisters, my fellow entities, think, remember, listen. Try to remember what was happening before you arrived here. Go back in your memory. You still have those ancient memories from when we were all not in this reality. You got to remember them. Once you tap in to the power of your inner self and using your when you're using your inner senses and connect with your inner self, which is your higher self, you'll start remembering. And then you can remember things and all your old training that you've been going through. This is not, yeah, there are a lot of people here that are new here, but there are also some that are old, real old, older than the concept of ancient, man. And we come back here, man, and we're here for our own purposes. But that same level of awakening that happens in a conscious dream is the same thing you need to happen here. And once you start thinking back, just remembering. There's no time, there's no backwards, there's no forward. Just remember what was happening before you got here. And it might come to you a bit fragmented and broken, but if you just listen with your heart and really go with your intuition, you'll be able to decipher and differentiate between what are those ancient memories that are your heritage and what were you doing before you arrived here. I have all my memories, most of them anyway, but it's always changing all the time because there's other things going on. But I tell you, for one thing, I'm not human, I know that, and neither are you. We're old, man. We're all of us. We're so old, and it really hurts me, man, because we're all old beings on the planet. Everybody's old, even the ones who are new here. Yeah, they're new into this physical reality and experiencing this this creature, a human experience of being a physical creature on the planet, but they're also old. So everyone is ancient. We're all ancient, man. And it's just a matter of not remembering what you are that's holding you back. So, yeah, just become conscious, man. Just start focusing more on the now. And also remembering what was happening before you arrived here. Now, I was talking to a friend, man, and we were getting deep into it, man, really going deep. And what I came up with was, this is not for everybody, this is not written in stone, but this is one thing that happens to people or entities, right? We've all heard people talk about, right, when they die, they see their life flash before their eyes. There's many different stories. Some people say right before a moment of an accident or a near-death experience, they saw their whole life flash before their eyes. Other people say that they could see all existence of their lives and experience them simultaneously, past, present, and the future, because there's no boundaries once we leave physical reality. So these things are all happening at once, and you will have complete view of all of them happening at once. So check this shit out, man. This is what happens to some of us when we get here. Imagine this. You have no interest in your consciousness development. You have no interest in your ancient heritage. You have no interest really in anything. You're not really a spiritual person, or maybe you are just a little bit and not so serious. You might read the Bible, a couple of quotes here and there, but you're not really into it like that. So the moment of death, you're in a situation that you're going to die. This is a situation such as, it could be anything, but just say, for example, you're in a burning building, you're in a boat. Like example, they had this boat accident out in Korea recently where, unfortunately, very sad story, a lot of people died, a lot of students. But you're in a situation where you're going to die, and there's no way to escape it. This also makes me think of people in 9/11. When the towers were coming down, they had a choice, burn or jump. What are you going to do with that, man? I mean, you got two choices, burn or jump. Not much to go with there. And both of them are going to end in the same way, you leaving this physical reality. So, in that situation, a person is thinking about being anywhere else except where they are at that moment. So, you got a person who's trapped in a fire, you got a person who's dying a slow and painful death somewhere, maybe out on the battlefield, in the street, just got shot, anywhere. Life is slowly leaving them, at least for physical life anyway. And they start thinking, oh my God, I want to die, I want to be anywhere. And they start having these memories start kicking in, because they're starting to get pulled back into the other side, going back to all that is. And next thing you know, in one sudden burst of energy, they use all of their power. And like I said, a lot of people claim to see like this moment where all their lives are before their eyes. That surge of energy blasts them back into another physical reality of their own manifestation, their own creation. So they use all their energy at one time, unrestricted power, pure unrestricted power, but uncontrolled and unconsciously. And they send themselves into whatever reality that seemed most pleasant for them at that time. So and when a person's dying, they'll go anywhere. They don't care where it was. It could be 5 years old back in the 80s. It could be, back in the 1960s. It could even be somewhere off their time scale as far as they're concerned. It could be somewhere way back in history, or somewhere way forward in history. But the point is, they use all that power, unrestricted but uncontrolled and unconsciously, to blast them into another reality. When they arrive in that reality, through the form of a physical birth, they are completely unconscious. They're completely unconscious because they've used all that power and they didn't have control over it. And now they've arrived in this new reality completely with amnesia, that they're multidimensional beings. So this is why, at the moment of death, You need to know where you're going. You need to believe and have faith in where you're going to go. Where are you going? Don't think about hell and all that other bullshit, because that's where you're going to go. Your power is going to manifest that. So you need to be... I break this down. I get back into that dream language I'm telling y'all about, man. This is some heavy stuff, because my inner self, when I talk to my higher powers and they break shit down to me, they tell me what's going on. I don't know if I mentioned this in the videos, but when people are dying, right, or if they're in a situation where they know death is coming, what do? They start praying. Oh God, Hail Mary, full of grace, our Father. They start doing all these prayers and stuff. Why? What are they really doing? I think unconsciously they're not aware of it. They're actually preparing themselves. I mean, yeah, they might be praying that this situation will come to an end, but for those who understand that it's not going to end, they start praying. That is to set them excuse me, into that mindset to prepare them for where they're going to shoot their energy, their soul, their spirit into that reality. So when they're saying Our Fathers or Hail Marys or any other religious mantra, they're preparing their consciousness to go into that reality when they leave this place. I recommend people, well, I don't recommend, but this is just one way that what I would do is if I knew I was in a situation where I was going to die, I would start speaking my mantra, my ancient language, and this would be preparing my consciousness to, at the moment of death, they would be fresh in my mind. This is where I'm going, and channel all that energy. This is what it's for. So, yeah, these are the things that I want to get across to some of y'all. It's just some points, a couple of issues. Sorry, I'm keeping track of time. Gotta start class in a minute. But yeah, I think I covered a lot of important stuff. This is just some things for you to ponder on. I don't have a lot of time. Let's see, did I leave anything out? Loves one, because you feel physically, you definitely change access. Okay, no, I think the stuff that I wanted to get across, I basically covered it. But yeah, all those things, think about them, man. Meditate on them. But you need to start getting your power up. You need to start focusing your mind. You need to start focusing your energy, because a lot of us expect death to come at some later date. We all expect it. We all have this vision, this fantasy, this belief that we're going to die in a hospital room, we're going to have loved ones around us, we're going to die in an old age. But how many people have believed that and suddenly had their lives have ended? So even me, considering myself an advanced entity in this reality, I'm also aware that things do happen. And I could also just as easily come to the end of this physical life and end up on the other side. Now, I don't believe that's going to happen because I'm not ready to leave yet, but unfortunately, sometimes other people's actions can interfere with other people's realities, meaning interfere in my reality and cause my time to come to an end sooner than expected. So I have to also prepare myself for when that time comes to be consciously aware, prepared, and ready, so that I know where I'm going, and I'll end up, like I said, sending myself projecting into another physical reality. I too have to be prepared. So yeah, this is a short video. Think about all these things that I'm passing on to y'all, and just see, I got a few more minutes. Yeah, that is about it. I'm trying to see if I can squeeze in any more information. Yeah, I think I covered all of it. Just remember, you are all powerful entities on the face of this so-called planet in this reality, and you are all older than you think you are. The age that you have now is meaningless. The name that you have now is meaningless. The job that you have now is meaningless. The money that you have now is meaningless. All the material things that you have, they're all meaningless. You're basically part-time renting. I mean, not rent, just made up a new word, but basically all the shit you have, you're just renting it part-time, man. You don't really own anything. All the stuff you own is going to be owned by other people if you leave this reality right now. So, excuse me. The only thing you're going to take with you is the knowledge that you've gained and the amount of work that you're putting in, man, to prepare yourself for leaving this place. So just do your work, man. Do your work. Because I do this out of love. I make these videos out of love. I'm not looking forward to anything, but I do them all out of love to help my fellow entities not have to endure another lifetime of physical reality, or even worse, manifest themselves into a very unhappy situation, such as a hell, Hades type thing, or not to mention a boring heaven scenario. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to go to heaven. Really think about heaven. Or would you be satisfied for an eternity floating around with angel wings and hanging out with, not really experiencing any, pretty much all the shit that you like here in physical reality, according to the Bible, most likely won't be up there or wherever it is, that if you manifest that type of reality. So even heaven becomes boring at the end of the day. Why accept less when you can yourself be a co-creator in partnership with all that is, manifesting realities of your own will and manifestations? So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Get back at y'all later. But much love to everyone out there who's been sending me mail and stuff. One person, I think Kaya, he sent me a mail talking about that this person she was going to a Pentecostal church. They didn't go in a long time, 20 years, but the glossolalia, they said they never heard of that. It used to be called speaking in tongues. You're right. It was called speaking in tongues. It's called speaking in tongues and glossolalia, but at the end of the day, it all connects back to that dream language. And this person told me that they were speaking in tongues for a long time and also recording them and recognized the power. So, yeah, I'm leaving it at that for now. Hit y'all back. Love y'all.